it will be appropriate for you so that we'll be able to finish the last session within last week. But I saw that most of you did not vote regarding that issue. So it couldn't come off. So maybe you can still consider it and decide when you think it will favor all of us so that we will finish is it 3 or 2 sessions that we have not been able to do. So we are at unit 3 now for today. Please, we are starting. So unit 3 basically talks about the competitive environment. The competitive environment. And these are the unit outlines for session 1, 2, 3 up to 6, as well as the objectives. So let's move straight to session 1. Session 1 also talks about the supply environment. The supply environment. Okay. So when we say supply environment, the supply environment of a business organization consists of 2 main parts. We have the internal environment and the external environment. With the supply environment, we have the internal environment and the external environment. And for the internal environment, or we can say that both environments also play a very critical role in procurement and supply management decision. So let's take the internal environment. So per our model, or what we have in our model, the internal environment include factors that are within the control of the organization. So in every organization, those factors that are within the control of that organization are termed as what? Internal environmental factors. And in procurement, this environment also affects how efficiently purchasing and supply activities are carried out. So basically, for the internal environment, it includes what? The organization's or the organization's what? Functions and personnel. So examples under the organization's functions and personnel, we have, and we can talk of procurement officers, logistics staffs, and managers. Please, we are considering the internal environment, and we are saying that the internal environment includes factors that are within the control of the organization. And these include 1, the organization's functions and what? Personnel. So examples are some of the personnel in an organization. We have procurement officers, logistics staffs, managers, and others. Again, we can also consider organizational culture. And for that one, examples are what? The value of the organization, the ethics, attitude towards what? The supplier. So each organization has their own what? Value, ethics, and even attitudes, how they behave towards what? Their suppliers. So it differs from what? One organization to another organization. And these factors can what? in a way affects the organization. Then we have objectives and plans for the organization. And when we talk of the objectives and plan, we also have factors such as what? Cost reduction, then quality improvement and what? Sustainability. So, for example, if an organization's main goal is what? To get or to get the quality or cost reduction goods and services, then they will aim towards either the reduction what a reduced price or how they will get what quality items. So it will depend how an organization will process or go by their process to attain goods and services will depend on their objectives and plan. Then we can also think of systems and technology. For example, e-procurement systems, ERP softwares, and others. And then we have rules and procedures. So rules like procurement policies and what? Approval processes. All these are some of the factors in the organization that the organization has what? Control over them, which can also what? Affect the organization. Then from there, I said that we have two main or the broad categories of the environmental factors. And we said that we have the internal and the external. So having done with the internal factors, we are now moving on to the external factors. And here too, we can say that the external environment consists of factors outside the organization that influence procurement decision, but are directly controlled by the organization. So with the external environment, that one is also divided into two parts. So when we take the external environment of an organization, we have micro environments as well as what? The macro environment. So let's now discuss what micro environment under an external environment, what exactly or what it really means. Okay, so the micro environment can also be called the immediate operating environment. The immediate operating environment. And when we say micro environment, as I said, it is called the immediate operating environment. It includes actors that have direct influence on procurement operation. So these actors may include what? We can think of customers, suppliers, and competitors. So when we say customers, it means that their demand can, sometimes the demand of what our customers can affect purchasing quality and what? Specification. So the quality or the quality of what a product will sometimes be what be dependent on what how our customers will also what like. Then we can also think about or talk about suppliers. So for suppliers, their reliability or pricing and quality can also what affect the procurement performance, because if you have a very good supplier who can respond to any request promptly, then that will determine how your process is going to work, either be effective or not. And at the same time, if you have a supplier who is not who is not honest to you, that one too will also have its own implications toward your procurement process. Then we can also think about or talk about competitors. So with the competitors, they influence sourcing strategies and cost competitiveness. So now we are done with the micro environment, which is also called the immediate operating environment under the external environment. Okay, so let's take the macro environment, the macro environment. Please, when we say macro environment, I want somebody to come in. What is macro environment? Hello? 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 Please, what is, we have explained what micro environment is. So, per the model, what we have right now that we are discussing, can somebody brainstorm and tell us what he or she thinks the macro environment is about? Yes,
Hello.
please. Yeah,
When you say external micro environment, you are talking about external factors that affect organizational decisions, performance, and its strategies.
okay. External factors that affect the decisions of an organizational strategy. Okay, okay. So examples are, what are some of the external factors that we think may have effects or can affect the decisions and the plannings or whatever towards what an organization? The question goes to all of us, not the one Emmanuel alone. So let's try to come out with such external factors that may have an effect to our environment.
Madam, we have technology and
Technology.
technology,
Okay.
the
Okay.
culture, inflation, interest rate can also affect the decision of an organization.
Okay. Okay. Somebody sound up.
Madam.
Is it? Yes, Kofi.
Yes. Governmental rules can also affect organizational environment. I mean,
Okay.
governmental policy.
Okay. So would you like to explain that for us, or somebody should also assist you with that?
I can still explain, or if somebody is willing to set in, it's still okay.
No, please go ahead with whatever that you have.
Yes. In an organizational environment, governmental policies can affect in such a way that when the government plays a policy and it is affecting the acquiring of raw materials into an environment, it can affect the organization in acquiring
Okay.
such materials so that it can continue its processes.
Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. Please, any addition? Any addition? Any addition? Okay. Okay, thank you. So let's let's go to 1.2.1. What can you say about that paragraph or that page? 1.2.1. What can you see, or after reading, what did you get over there? Or you have not read? Hello.
Hello, madam.
I'm saying,
They
okay.
are the external factors that happen to organization where the organization has no control over it. They can't act based on those external forces, and it's beyond the organization's control.
Okay. 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 Please, any different view with the 1.2.1? After reading that paragraph, what can we deduce from there? Okay, so let me come in. So over there is saying that the aim, let me take it from here. So for that paragraph, it's saying that the external environment is also called what? The macro environment or the general environment. So sometimes if you go and you did not see what external environment and you see macro or general environment, they are the same. Okay. And the reason why we are saying that it is macro or general environment is that it is not within the purchasing organization's what direct control. That is for the external environment. We call it general environment or macro environment because it is not within the purchasing organization's what direct control. Okay. Let me see. So for that reason, the purchasing organization does not try to control it, but rather will seek to anticipate. Since it is not within the purchasing organization's direct control, then the organization does not try to control it because it can't control it, but it will rather seek to what? Anticipate or identify and even manage emerging threats and opportunities from the external environment. So if maybe your power will not be able to what to control that external factors, then what they can do as an organization is what to identify and manage the emerging threats and what opportunities from the external environment. And the reason is to use these threats and opportunities of what the organization's own advantage. And it also says that the purchasing function is what particularly important here because buyer through their contacts with the external supply market environment span boundary between what organization and its environment. I'm looking for one point here. Okay. And another point that we can say from that paragraph is that it is essential to take the external environment into account for what? Two reasons. Okay, so that paragraph is trying to say that it is essential to take the external environment into account for two reasons. One, because an organization depends on its environment for what? Raw material and other inputs. So for that reason, it is important for an organization to take its external environment into what? Account. Then secondly, an organization also what impacts its environment. So when it takes in inputs and creates outputs in the form of goods and services, it also what produces byproducts such as waste pollution, supply development, local what environments. So through this activity, the organization makes an impact on the external environment. So that is what actually that paragraph is trying to say. Okay, so now, per what we have just discussed, I want somebody to summarize what he or she has heard before we move on to section 1.3, which is also talking about the 3 basic ways of influencing environment. So I want somebody to tell me what he or she has heard for the little that we have just discussed. Yes. Please, I'm listening. The little that we have just discussed, what did you hear? Tell me. Anything, whether one line or whatever, paragraph, a page, in a sentence.
Yeah, madam.
That, yes.
This Collins.
Okay,
So
Collins.
we looked at you mentioned of the supply environment, and then the supply environment we have the micro and the micro environment, and the macro environment is within the. No, we had the external, the external and the internal environment. And then the internal environment was consistent the activity that goes on in the organization, and then the external goes beyond the internal that goes on in the society and the environment of the organization.
Okay. Okay. Collins, are you done?
Yes, madam.
Thank you very much. You have said something. Okay. So I want another person so that we proceed on. Anything that he or she heard.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Mary.
Madam, please, we talk about the supply environment, and we say the supply environment are the internal and the external environment. And under the internal environment, it's within the organization power or control, and they include the customers, competitors, suppliers, and competitors. So in the internal environment, we have that's the micro, also called the immediate operating environment. Then you talk about the macro environment, which is also under the external environment. So in the macro environment, we look at the environment which their duties are above, meaning the organization have little control or no control. So it includes the government policy, the economy, the culture and technologies. And you ask, why is the external environment important? Because one, the organization gets its raw materials from the external environment. And also, what the organization produced, our input, that's our goods and services, it has sometimes the output. We have to consider the output such as waste, pollution on the environment. So that's the importance of the external environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. But my only concern is on the examples under the internal environment that you gave. Can you recall and just give me an example? Because it seems I did not get it very well. The examples under the internal environment, those factors under the internal environment, any one factor at all. I want to to confirm something if you got it right.
So the internal environment, it includes the organization's objectives and culture and
Okay,
plans.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you very much. So I think now we can proceed on to session number 1.3. Okay. So session 1.3 is what? The three basic ways of influencing the environment. The three basic ways of influencing the environment. Okay. Okay, so let's go straight to what it says. So now we can say that the external environment has what? A strong influence on the organization's supply chain functions. And this influence occurs in three basic ways, which directly affect how procurement plan, sources, and what manages supply. So now we are looking at the three basic ways in which what the external environment yes, it's talking about the three basic ways of what of influencing the environment. Okay, so we can say what the external threats and opportunities. External threats and opportunities is one way. Then we have provision of organizational resources. And the last one is stakeholder influence. Stakeholder influence. Okay. So as I said earlier, we are looking at what? How the external environment has a strong influence on the what? Organization's supply chain function. And these are some of the ways, like the environmental threats and opportunities. So for that one, the external environment present what? Threats to the organization. And these threats may include what? Sometimes restrictive legislation, competitor initiatives, technology obsolescence, supply shortages. All these are some of the threats that may what affect the external environment can use to what threaten the organization. Okay, so at the same time, the environment also what presents opportunities such as consumer demand, technological improvements, or innovative supplier entering the supply market. So both threats and the opportunities affect the organization's ability to compete in its market to fulfill its objectives. So we said that both of these, the environmental threats and the opportunity become one of the key factors in the formation of business and supply strategies and plan. So in procurement, this means adjusting sourcing strategy to reduce risk and take advantage of what new supply possibilities. Then the second one is what? Provision of organizational resources. Provision of organizational resources. So this one too, it means the organizations obtain its resources from what? The environment. And these resources may include labor, material, supplies, services, energy, finance, information, and other inputs needed for the organization's operation. So the availability of these resources, as well as their quantities and quality, are largely determined by environmental factors. And these factors also determine the price at which they are bought and time they are delivered. So as a result, procurement must develop supply chain strategies, policies, and practice that will help to secure the supply of these critical resources. And last but not least, really the third one talks about what? Stakeholder influence. So with that one, the environment also contains what? Stakeholders who may seek or have the right to influence activities of the organization. And these stakeholders include suppliers and their supply chain, as well as lawmakers, regulatory bodies, industry associations, and other parties with an interest in the supply chain ethics, management, and what? Performance. And these stakeholders influence how purchasing decisions are made, and standards must be what? Followed, and ethical expectations placed on the organization. So that is the three ways in which the external environment can also what? Influence the organization, as the model has what? Discussed. Then we move on to purchasing research. Purchasing research. So here is saying that purchasing research is defined as what? The systematic study of all relevant factors that may affect the acquisition of goods and services. So with the purpose of securing current and future requirements in a way that enhances competitive position of the what? Company. That is, this definition was proposed by Wale, is it Willie and what? 2013. So that is their definition towards what? Purchasing research. So you could be asked to define purchasing research based on what? Willie's what? Definition, 2013. So you can pick the key words from what? The definition.
Mado.
Okay, so apart from the Willie's 2013's what? Definition for purchasing research, we can also define purchasing research as what? The systematic design, collection, which what? Analysis, reporting of data and findings that are relevant to purchasing organization. And to achieve its objectives, an organization must understand its environment in order to identify threats, opportunities, or stakeholder influence that might affect supply. Okay. So it goes further by saying that or by explaining what? The purchasing research process. The purchasing research process. So now let's look at the purchasing research process. Okay. Please, that one is at what? Page 79, the first point. Purchasing or the process may include. So it is talking about what? The process of purchasing research. Okay. So one, it says the purchasing research process may include. So one, we have environmental analysis. Environmental analysis. So under the environmental analysis, that process involves what? Environmental, which talks about what? The staple factors analysis. So when we say the staple factors, what are those factors? Let's try to name them one by one. The STEEPLE. What does that acronym stand for? The staple factors. Yes, I want somebody to give us the full meaning for that acronym. Please, what does it stand for? The staple. Frank, do you want to come in? What does the S stand for, the T, the E, another E, P, L, E? What do they stand for? Hello, Ekua Ousua. Ekua Ousua. Doris. Hello.
Madam.
Doris.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Madam.
what does that acronym stand for? The SPEPPLE.
Okay. The S stand for sociocultural, and the T stand for technological, and the first E stand for economic, and the second E stand for environmental or ecological, and the P stand for political, the L stand for legal, and the E stand for ethical factors.
Okay. Thank you. Noah, you wanted to say something?
Yes, please. I wanted to say exactly what you said.
Hello, Noah.
Yes, madam.
Please, your line is very faint. Can you speak a little bit louder?
I wanted to say exactly what she spoke about.
Noah, we can't hear what you are saying.
Hello, madam.
Maybe yes.
I said I wanted to say exactly what she spoke about.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So when you say that acronym STEEPLE, that is what our sister has explained. Okay. So now we are still discussing the purchasing research process, and we are saying that the process includes one, environmental analysis. And I made mention that the environmental, which is what the staple factor analysis, and what the and the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So what is the acronym for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats? What is the acronym for that one?
SWOT.
Okay, the
SWOT.
SWOT.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So the environmental basically looks at the staple and the SWOT amounts, staple factor and the SWOT analysis. And these two also help procurement to understand what wider environment affecting the supply. Okay. Then we have industry analysis. Industry analysis also focuses on the structure of the buyers, industry, and supply markets, and the key player, and the nature and the intensity of what the competition within the environment. Then competitor analysis also examine the resources, actions, and plans, as well as the strengths and weakness of the key competitors. Then analysis of critical success factor, which also focuses on identifying the objectives that must be achieved in order to secure competitive advantage in a given industry or market. We also have supply, demand, and what capacity forecasting, which also involve using statistical analysis or expert opinion, gathering to estimate future sourcing requirements and relate needs for supply chain capabilities. Then we have vendor analysis, What is vendor analysis? I want somebody to tell us. What is vendor analysis? What is vendor analysis? Somebody should tell us.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Please, with vendor analysis, it can be defined as the process of evaluating and comparing suppliers for them to decide one best that will meet the organization's needs.
Okay. Okay. So that is evaluating the performance, potential capacity, capabilities of what current vendor as well as prospective suppliers in their supply market. Thank you very much. Okay, and last but not least, supply market analysis. Supply market analysis. What is it? What is supply market analysis? Yes. So the supply market analysis also involve assessing general supply conditions in the market, including availability, risk of shortage or what, disruption, market price, price what, fluctuations and trends, and environmental factors affecting supply or demand. So this brings us to the end of session 1. Please, any question before we move on to session 2? Any question? Okay, so let's move on to session 2. So session 2 also talks about staple analysis. And the staple analysis is an what? Important tool used by purchasing or procurement professional to study the external macro environment and supply markets. It helps organizations understand factors outside their control that may affect sourcing, supplier selection, and what, supply chain performance. Okay, so we say that the staple helps buyers look at what the bigger picture and prepare for opportunities and risks in the supply market. And as we explained earlier, we said that STAFO is the acronym for socio-cultural, technological, economic, as our sister said earlier. So we are moving on straight to 2.1. So we are taking the stable factors one by one. So the first is what? The socio-cultural factor. Socio-cultural factor. And when we say socio-cultural factor, what does it mean? So in simple terms, socio-cultural factors are related to what? Customs, lifestyles, and values of society. And they affect both the markets, the product market and what? Supply markets. Okay, so the aspects of the socio-cultural factors include what? Demographics. When we say demographic factor, what does this mean? When we say demographic factors, what does it mean? So for the second paragraph, it says that sociocultural factors include demographics characteristics. So what are the examples of the demographic characteristics? Hello.
Madam, examples includes the age, the gender, educational level, and marital and family status.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we are saying that socio-cultural factors include what? Demographic characteristics such as age, gender, population, educational background, and others. Then we have the cultural norms. Cultural norms. Okay. We also have education and what? Occupation trend, values, customs, work attitude, work life balance, and customer spending pattern, lifestyle, fashion trend, customer buying preferences. So all these are examples of what socio-cultural factors that may affect how the business organization, okay, by the customer, on the part of the customer. So it goes further by saying that these factors reflect the need and expectation of the society and help the organization to forecast demand for products and services. And it also helps to identify market segments which can be targeted for competitive advantage. Then we move on to the technological factors. Technological factors. So what are the technological factors? So before we go to the technological factors, let's look at the sources of what? Sociocultural data. Sources of sociocultural data. What are some of the sources of sociocultural data? Hello? Hello?
Yes, madam. The data that involves
So
culture
check the
data.
last paragraph. Look at the last paragraph and tell me the sources of socioculture. Yes, Kofi.
Yes, we have market research.
Market research.
We have media and specialized analysis. We also have
Okay, so market research, media analysis. What again?
We have published research report.
Okay, so all these are some of examples of what the sources of sociocultural data. So when you are asked to give some examples to the sources of what sociocultural data, then you can cite any of these. Okay, now let's move on to the technological factors. So when we say technological factors, what are they? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
What are technological factors?
madam.
Yes.
There are factors that a purchasing organization encounter.
Please come again.
There are factors that a purchasing organization encounter.
factors that the purchasing organization encounter. Okay. Okay, you said something. Any other view?
Madam,
Yeah.
technological factors,
Mm-hmm.
they are the technology, or they are the external factor that can create opportunity, and also it also creates threat to a company. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Please, kindly repeat what you said.
I said when you talk about the technological factors, they are
Okay.
the external forces or the external environment that um, sometimes create opportunities for company, and also it creates threats for companies as well.
Okay. Okay. Is that all?
No, madam.
Yes.
With the technological factors, they include the new innovations, automations, and digital machines, which affect procurement processes, communication, and others.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So now let's discuss some of the ways in which the technological factors affect what the purchasing organization. So per the model, it says that there are three main ways in which technical factors affect what the purchasing organization. And they are what? One, new ways of producing goods and services. Two, new ways of distributing goods and services. And three, new ways of communicating with the target market. So why are these words important? For example, the ICT, that is the information and communication technology, it improves speed of what? Data gathering and communication. Also, automated what? There is an automation of what? Procurement transaction. Okay. Okay, now let's discuss some of the sources of the technological data. So what are some of the sources of the technological data? We have already discussed the sources of what? Sociocultural words, the data for the sociocultural factors. Now we are looking at the sources of technological data. What are they? What are some of the sources? Yes. Yes, Kofi.
Please, madam, we have surveys, technological surveys. We have through the journalists or special journals. We have the media and analysis. We have trade conferences and exhibitions, technology-based and consultancies.
Okay, thank you very much. So those are the sources of the technological data, as Kofi has just mentioned, like the technology surveys, specialist what journal and media analysis. We have trade conferences and what exhibition, and we also have technology consultancies, and others. Okay, thank you very much. Now, let's look at the economic factor under the table, economic factor under the table. So the economic factors relate with the overall health of the economy and how it affects supply and what procurement. So economic conditions include what recessions, recoveries, and what growth. And we have specific factors under the economic factors that we can what classify under the economic factors, such as one, we have what the government fiscal and monetary what policies, such as taxes, interest rates, and what spendings. Then we can also consider foreign exchange rates. That is the important for international procurement. Then we can also consider inflation, customer spending, labor costs, and unemployment. And we can also talk of mobility of capital and labor and international trade wars agreements. Why are these important? They are important because they help buyers plan sourcing strategy and forecast demand. And it also has what its sources, or we can also consider where their data can be obtained. So now, having known the sources of the economic and the socio-cultural, now the economic and technological data, now let's also look at what the sources of economic data. The sources of economic data. So can you go through your model and come out with some of the sources of the economic data?
Madam, they include some sources of economic data include published government forecasts, reports and statistics, media analysis, industry projections and reports, industry conference and contacts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So would you like to add something to what our sister has said? Okay, now let's proceed on to the environmental factors. The environmental factors. So when we say the environmental factors, what is it? Environmental factors, what are they? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hello,
We are
madam.
here. We are here.
So what can you say about the environmental factors here?
Madam, let's say
Yes.
they are the like it refers to the external ecological and natural conditions that affect a business operation. Example is let's say climate change, production resource availability, and pollution.
Che, I'm not with. But don't forget the money.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Kofi, would you want to add something?
Yes, please, madam.
Okay, go
Every,
ahead.
every every organization is operating in an environment which people lives. So every activity of an organization must operate in a sense to protect the right of the people living there. So there is a legislation that guides the right of the people that is living in the environment in which it is operating. So as a result of that, there are rules and regulations that are guiding the operation of that particular organization to protect the right of the people that is living in that particular environment.
Church number any different. Church
Hello.
number any different.
Hello. Hmm. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, madam.
I think you were saying something when my network went off. Can you
Yes,
go back?
yes. Yes. I said every organization is operating that operates in an environment have rules and regulations or legislations that guides that particular organization because it is
Yes.
operating in the midst of people. So there must be rules and regulations that is going to guide that particular organization to protect the right and health of the people that are living in that particular environment because there are some activities of an organization that may release gases that may be harmful to the health of the people that are living in that particular environment. So as a result of that, government must set rules and regulations that will guide the organization to be able to protect the health and standard living of the people that is living in that particular environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So can you give us a practical example regarding the rules that you think the government should initiate?
Example like companies that releases harmful gases.
Okay.
So these harmful
Okay.
gases may end up affecting the health of the people that are living closer to that particular organization or company.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay.
I'm very grateful, madam.
Okay. Now we move on to what the political factors. Political factors. So I want somebody to also take us through what political factors mean regarding a competitive environment. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
So what can we say about the political factors regarding the staple factors?
Hello.
Yes.
Please, madam, let me speak on the political factors. Because of political instability or due to the changes of political leaders or changing of what government, it affects some businesses which are operating in the favor of what the ruling what government. So when there is change of what government, it can collapse such kind of what businesses. Or there are some companies that when there is change of government, the policies in which the government may implement to use in ruling the what the nation may affect it, and when it affects it, it can end up collapsing some of that what organizations. Example like when there was change of government and some banks have what to go off due to the what the policies that have been what implemented.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Kofi. Okay. Doris. Doris. Hello, Doris. Hello. Hello. Hello, Doris. Okay. So the next point to consider is for the legal factors. The legal factors. So the legal factors, they refer to what laws and regulations that impact what the procurement activities. And we have some national and international laws which covers what commercial contracts in procurement. Then we have what employment rights and obligations. We also have rights and safety, consumer protection, data protection, intellectual properties, trade regulations, product safety, and so on. And we also have some sources of the legal information. And these sources can be obtained from what? The legal publications and magazines like what? The supply management, like what? The SIFs. Then updates on laws and what? Cases relevant to what? Procurement. And the E, the acronym E to be considered, which is what the ethical factor, which is the 2.7, the ethical factor. So with the ethical factors, it involves what the corporate social responsibility. That is what the CSR and the business what ethics. And the ethics include what the right conduct in business, overlapping with the legal and environmental what responsibilities. And these ethics also cover the fair trading and ethical treatment of what suppliers, fair treatment of employees, supporting local communities, and even ensuring suppliers comply with what ethical standards. So the professional guidance, which are what the codes of ethics from what the organizational like SIPs. And we also have guidelines from what international labor organizations, which is the ILO's ethical trading what initiatives. So why are these ethics important or why are these ethics or factors important in the procurement activities? They are important because it builds trust and long-term relationship with our suppliers. And it also helps ensure supply chain are responsible and sustainable. Okay, so here also brings us to the end of the second session. So I want somebody to also summarize what we have just discussed in session 2. Who will do that for us? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Madam, we can hear you.
Hi, madam, you are here.
So I want somebody to summarize the entire session 2 before we move on to session 3. But for this time, let somebody also come in. Okay. So meaning nobody heard anything?
Madam.
Yes, Collins.
So this is Collins. So on this session, we looked at the social cultural factors, and that's we mentioned of the factors or the customs or the lifestyle and the values, which is the education, the languages, and the things that we are the social culture. And then we also looked at the technological factors. We also looked at you mentioned of the new ways of producing goods and services, and also the distribution of goods, also the communications. That's the technological factors, and then the economic factors. We also looked at the economic factors, which we mentioned of the labor, the foreign exchanges, and the foreign exchange rates, the interest rates, and the inflation. And also, we also looked at the environmental factors. And that was my brother also brought in the harmful waste, the harmful waste that the companies bring to around our environment, that the government has to look at all that. And then which is the political factors. That is but the political factors are such as the economics and the social goals of the government and their rules.
Okay.
The rules of the government. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Collins.
You're welcome, madam.
Okay. So we now proceed on to session 3, which talks about what the competitive forces. The competitive forces. Okay. Okay, so 3.1 talks about what the Potter's 5 competitive forces. That is session number 3.1. Potter's 5 competitive forces. So with this, it says that Potter's 5 competitive forces is a model developed by Professor Michael Porter to help organizations understand the level of competition in an industry or market. So in procurement, this model helps buyer analyze the supply markets and make better purchasing decisions. So competitive forces are the factors that affect how strong or weak a company is compared to others. And these forces can also affect the profitability, cost, and growth of an organization. So Porter explained that competition is not about what existing competitors. It is also influenced by economic conditions of the industry and by other forces that operate beyond direct rivals. Therefore, procurement professional must look at the whole market environment and not at what the current suppliers. So according to Michael Porter, how attractive or profitable an industry is depend on how the 5 forces interact. When these forces are strong, competition is what high and profits may be low. So when they are weak, companies can also operate more easily and make better returns. Okay. Now, let's explain these terms. Okay, so let me ask, when you hear what the competitive forces, what comes to your mind? Hello? Hello?
Oh,
So when you
Hi,
hear
madam.
competitive forces, what comes to your mind?
madam,
Yes.
there are forces or factors that influence the competitive or the bargaining position of a company.
Please come again.
There are forces or factors that
Okay.
influence the competitive or the bargaining position of a company or an industry.
Okay. So examples of such factors include what? What are some of the examples of such factors? Collins,
Madam, Madam, I'm
examples
here.
of such factors.
Uh, examples of water forces. That's is it bias, bargaining power.
Collins, are you asking or you are answering? Which is which? Please kindly mute yourself. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi, madam.
So, Collins, you are listening.
Okay, madam. So, uh,
Madam, can I come in?
threats for new.
Yes.
The examples are threat from a news entry, suppliers bargaining power.
Collins, you didn't get the question well, right?
Madam, please, he said.
Who are those disturbing like that? Okay, let's continue. Please, let's continue.
Can I move on?
Okay, yes. Okay, let's look at the 5 causes of what. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so now
Hi.
let's discuss or let's come out with what the hottest 5 causes. What are the examples?
Please, examples.
Yes.
Threats from new entry, suppliers bargaining power, buyers bargaining power, and threats from the substitutes and competitive rivals within the industry.
Okay. Okay. So those are what? The hottest 5 forces. Which are what? The potential new entrants, as you said, potential what? Substitute products, suppliers bargaining power, buyers bargaining power, and what? The threat of new entrants. So let's take them one by one. So the first on the list is what? The potential new entrants. The potential new entrants. What does it mean? Okay, so let's move fast. When we say potential new entrant, it refers to what? How it is for a new supplier to enter the market. How easily it is for a new supplier to enter the market. So that is what actually the potential new entrants is talking about, or it means. So here it says that if an industry is profitable and there is no or few barriers to entry, new businesses enter into the market to compete with already existing ones. So threat of new entrants is high when, okay, so now let's discuss let us discuss some of what the conditions which can what attribute for what the new entrants, or which will what call for new entrants in the market. So one, when there is low amount of capital. So when there is low amount of capital required to enter a market, then it makes it easier for other supplier to also come enter into the market. Again, we can say that when there is existing companies, or existing companies can do little to counter the threats. Existing firms do not possess patents, trademarks, or do not have established brand reputation. There is no government regulations against entry. And we have customer switching costs when customer switching cost is low, and others. Okay. Then let's take the potential substitute products. Potential substitute products. So when we say potential substitute products, they are what? The alternative products that can replace the one being purchased. So if substitutes are available, buyers can switch easily. And if there is or there are no substitutes, supplier also gain power. Okay, let's come out with some of the substitute products in the market. So what are some of the examples of the products that we can refer to them as the substitutes one in our markets?
So, madam, we have washing powders, we have Omo, we have Ariel, So Clean, depending on various prices.
Okay, so when we take the washing powders, we have Omo, So Clean, Ariel. So it means that whatever we can use Omo to do, So Clean can also do the same thing as well. So this can make customers switch easily from one product to another. Any other one?
Madam, we have milk, ideal milk, pomo milk, carnation milk, pig milk, and breast milk.
And what? The last one that you said, what?
I said ideal milk.
Okay, so what can you say about the examples that you have mentioned?
I said ideal milk, Okay.
Okay, noted. That's fine. And I'm asking that what
So
can you
if
say
I go into
about
the market and ideal milk is high,
um, Frank?
they are substitute goods. In
Uh-huh.
terms of maybe if one is higher. Yes, madam.
Yeah, we are listening.
If one the price of one commodity is I said if one commodity the price is very high, I can easily switch
Okay.
to the other.
Switch from, for example, if the price of an ideal milk is very high, then you
I can
can
switch to
easily
peak
switch from
milk,
what? From
ideal
ideal
to
milk
peak milk.
to
Yes.
peak milk or what? Carnation or
Carnation.
whatever. Okay,
Um,
that's fine. Okay. Then the third one is what? Bargaining power of buyers. Bargaining power of what? Buyers. So what does it mean? Okay, so when we say bargaining power of buyers, it simply means that how much influence buyers have over what? Suppliers. How much buyers or how much influence buyers have over what? Suppliers. Okay. So sometimes large buyers who purchase in bulk have what? Strong power. You know that. And small buyers have what? Weak powers. Okay. So here it says that Porter suggests that buyers are particularly powerful in the following what? Circumstances. Okay, so let's mention some of the circumstances that Porter suggested that buyers are what? Powerful in them. So the first one is what?
They are when buyers are limited in number or size.
When buyers are limited in number or size relative to what? Supplying firms, then it makes them what? Hello. It gives them power
It
to
makes
what?
them have much influence.
It gives them power to even what? Negotiate. Do you understand? Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Please, do you understand?
Hi.
hello, madam.
Okay. What does the second point says?
The suppliers depends on them for a high promotion of revenue.
Depend on them for
High proportion. High
So,
proportion.
so what does it mean? What does it mean?
Hello, madam.
Yes.
In this situation, suppliers are normally depend on what buyers come to buy from them to make revenue. So in this situation, definitely the buyer has a higher power over the supply, because if he doesn't come, he wouldn't be able to make a revenue.
Okay. Okay. Any
Madam,
addition? Yes.
with the second point, I think the amount of purchases of buyers, the amount the buyer purchase, that's when the supplier depends on to make its revenue. So if they purchase high value, meaning high portion of their products, meaning they make much revenue out of that.
Okay. Please, did you get what our sister said?
Yes, we had it.
No, please.
Okay. So any further explanation? What did she say?
Which I'll say that hello.
Yes.
Which I'll say the survival of the supplier depends on the high proportion of goods or the buyers who buy from the supplier.
Okay. Okay. So let's look at the third point. It says when products and services are what? Typically identical, or substitute products are available, which enable buyers to easily switch to other competitors. What does it mean? When we say identical product, what does it mean?
They look alike products.
Okay. Okay. So what does that sentence trying to say?
Madam, meaning when there is much substitute product peculiar to what the organization produce, so buyers can easily switch depending on the price. So maybe the organization have a high price, but the quality is the same. Buyers can easily switch from that product to those with low price with the same quality. Thank you.
So examples of such products. Yes.
Hello, madam.
Yes, please.
Hello, madam.
Yes, please. You are listening.
Example like Sony flat screen and hello.
Hello.
Madam, example like
let's finish. When you finish, then you come in. Okay.
example like Sony flat screen and LG flat screen. So when the price of Sonic is very high, consumers can divert or customers can divert from the Sonic to what? To LG flat screen due to the price. So as a result of that, it makes buyers to have power over suppliers in the market. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Frank,
Madam,
were you
it's
saying
like,
something?
yes.
Okay.
It's I think we are limiting it to only products. And when it comes to service as well, let's say MTN and Telecel. So if MTN network is somehow misbehaving, we can easily switch to Telecel. I think that one too is an example of the substitute products and services.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. So let's take the bargaining power of supplier. Somebody should read. Hello.
Hi.
So let's take that paragraph, the bargaining power of suppliers. Somebody should read it for us.
Okay. Suppliers in a given industry or supply market generally exercise their powers to raise prices. This may affect the purchasing organization's profit as it buys materials at high cost due to the supplier's high bargaining power. Suppliers have strong bargaining power when One, they are limited in number and or enlarged in size relative to buying firms. Number two, there are few substitute products and or the supplies products. Three, the volume purchased by the power is not important to the supplier. Four, the supplier's product is an important component in the buyer's business. Five, the switching cost for buyers is high. And six, there is a potential for forward integration, which means suppliers can own or control their buyers.
Okay, thank you. So in a summary, what can we say? I'm not referring to the one who read. Anyone at all can say something. In a summary, what can we say?
Madam, this happens in, let's say, a monopoly type of organization. Let's say if there is only one source of product, if without that product we can't live. Let's say fuel. If without fuel, I think everything won't like if they increase fuel, it affects everything. Okay, so please let me come again.
Okay.
This happens in where the organization is practicing monopoly, okay, which there's only one product in the market. The supplier can choose to do whatever he wants. He can increase the prices. He can even say, oh, this time I'm increasing the prices from maybe 15 cedis to 20 cedis. Since it's the only product in the market, buyers have no choice than to comply with what the supplier will do. So I think this is my understanding of bargaining power of suppliers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so to add up, okay. So the bargaining power of suppliers. That is what the ability of the suppliers to control what prices and terms as well. Okay. So the circumstances that can make suppliers to become powerful is what we are looking at. So what are some of the circumstances? Examples are one, when suppliers are what? Very few and large. And when there are no what? Substitute products. Again, we can also say that when buyers purchase small volumes, the product is very important. All these are some of the circumstances which can make suppliers to become powerful during bargaining. And we can further say that a high supplier power can lead to what? If supplier has high power, it can lead to what? Hello? Hello?
Hi, madam, we can hear you.
So all these factors can lead to what? When there is much power on the side of supplier, it can lead to what? Hello?
It leads to high bargaining power.
Hello? Okay, very good. So
Hi.
even prices will go up, and there will be what? Strict conditions. And sometimes there will be what? Limited choice for the buyers. Please, those who are talking, kindly mute yourselves. Collins and Co. Hello, Collins. Collins.
Yes, madam. Please have muted it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we move on to what? The competitive rivalry. The competitive rivalry. Okay. So with the competitive rivalry, that is what the level of competition among the existing what suppliers. And at what time can we say that rivalry is what high? When many competitors exist. 2, when industry growth is low. And 3, when products are similar. And we can also say that when there is what, or when the fixed cost is what, very high, and at times when it is difficult to leave the industry. Okay. So now let's look at some of the merits of the 5 competitive courses, the advantages of the 5 competitive courses over here. Okay. So with the merits, the first one, it says that it uses the main, somebody should read for us. Hello, are you there? Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
madam.
madam.
Hi.
Yeah.
Please,
We are
somebody should read the advantage, the merits for us. The first point, somebody should read it for us. I'll not ask you to explain, you just read it for us.
So one of the merits of competitive forces is it uses the main competitive variable.
Are you done?
Madam, I read. It uses the
Okay.
main competitive variables in an industry, which enables systematic analysis of industry power structures and competitive pressures. 2, it helps to identify competitive opportunities and threats. 3, the organization can improve their competitive position by manipulating the 5 forces to their advantage. 4, the model is very simple to use in analyzing the level of competitiveness. 5, the 5 forces are most relevant to profitability and can help to organization to increase their profitability.
Okay, thank you. So when we take the point 2, we say that it helps identify threats and what opportunities. So it means that it enables the organizations to what? To recognize external dangers. Like what? The dangers, we have new competitors or what? Regulations. So we can classify that one under the external dangers, as well as the opportunities such as new markets and or what? Technology. Then the 4th point, it is easy to use. So that one is saying that that approach or the tool is what? Simple to understand and what? Apply. So it makes it work very practical for managers and what? Procurement professionals. Okay. So let's move on to the next subtopic, which is what the limitations of the 5 forces, which I was the disadvantage part of using the 5 forces model. Okay, so the first one, it says that the model focuses on profitability, which may not be the main objective. Please, can somebody read it for us?
Yes, please, madam.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Limitation of the 5 forces. 1. The model focuses on profitability, which may not be the main objective of the organizations, such as charity organizations, non-governmental organizations. 2. It ensures that all other factors will be held constant as the forces are manipulated.
Please, is it assumed or insourced?
Come again.
Is it assumed
It
or
assumes.
insourced?
Oh, okay. It was an
It
oversight
assumes.
on his part. Okay. 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 So
It
let me explain
assumes.
the first point. Kofi, hold
I hear.
on. I will explain alongside with what you are reading. So the first one, it focuses really on what? Profit. So meaning that it emphasizes on financial performance and profitability, and sometimes ignoring social, what, ethical or long-term consideration. And the second point that we read, it means that it is based on what? The assumptions that market environmental conditions do not change what? Rapidly, which may not reflect real world what? Situation. Please, the third one is what? Is over simplified. So that one also explains that it reduces what? Complex business and what? Competitive realities into simple models, which may overlook important details. And the fourth point says that applied mainly to business units. So that one also means that it is not suitable for analyzing individual business units rather than large, diversified organizations. And the last but not least, it says that may not fit fast changing markets, which also means that in industries with what? Rapid technological or market changes, the approach may become what? Outdated quickly and less what? Effective. So in procurement, this means that the model should be what? Used with other tools. Okay. Then we have monitoring competitors. Monitoring competitors. So monitoring competitors means studying what rival organizations are what doing. So in procurement, this involves checking input costs, quality standard, and supplier relationship, and even what the procurement method. So organizations use competitors as what the benchmarks to improve their performance. And competitors may gain advantage by controlling good suppliers and what signing exclusive contracts. Okay. So here is competitive supply. I think with this one, we will stop here. Then I have a message to deliver. Competitive supply. Okay, so when we say competitive supply, it means that having strong and healthy competition among what? Suppliers. And it leads to better price, better quality, innovation, and what? Supplier commitments. So organizations do not use competition blindly. They use it carefully to create value for money. So in public sector procurement, competition must be what? Transparent, fair, ethical, open to audits and free from favoritism. So what we have what competitive tendering. So it means that competitive tendering does not always mean real competition, but sometimes few suppliers exist. Few suppliers exist. Contracts are unattractive. So organizations may encourage new suppliers, promote substitutes, and make contracts easier to assess. Okay. So this brings us to the end of section 3. We couldn't finish in time. So last time I told the first rep that you should decide when it will be what appropriate for us so that we will use, now that we have, I think, about 6 sessions to complete everything, then it is like what a whole unit. So I will propose 2 hours, but I will leave the time to your hands that decide when it will be appropriate for you so that you'll be able to finish all the remaining sessions that we couldn't finish. And so that you'll be able to also learn and write and pass as well. So that is I think the little information that I have for you. I learned next week we are not meeting. So please decide when we are using 2 hours to complete all the sessions that we couldn't complete. Please, any question, information, additions, subtraction. Okay. So your contributions or your concerns are welcome. Please, any question, concern? Hello.
Hello, madam.
No, because
Hi.
Okay. So I will leave the rest into the hands of the course rep and the entire group. That's, in fact, this model or this course is what a whole lot. So it seems we can't normally use the 2 hours to finish, and we have an alternative that we can use extra time to finish. So that one depends on you. If you make yourself available, then I'll be able to do my part. So the remaining is in your hands. Okay, Pauline, do you want to say something, or we are done because I'll finish with my part? Kofi.
Yes, please, madam. Thank you for giving me the chance.
Okay.
Please, mine is to inquire, do we have a WhatsApp platform for this particular course?
Please kindly ask. I think so. So contact Frank. Do you know any of your colleagues here? Do you have their contact numbers? Any of them?
No, please, madam.
Oh. Okay, so from here, WhatsApp me. I will give you Frank's. So look at it. Frank has sent his number. Please, can you see?
Yes, I've seen it, please, madam.
And then, so please contact him. He will add you. Maybe 8 years.
Madam, Doc, there is
Yes.
a platform. In fact, when you look at the timetable, aside the online link, there's a WhatsApp link also there. So we have it. Just that they haven't checked it. It's there. We have it. Just have to go there and then join. Send the.
Okay. 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 Please, Kofi, did you hear what Ando said?
Yes, please.
He says on the timetable there is a WhatsApp link, so you can also check that one. And better still, Frank has also provided his number. So please go and think about the time so that you make a time for the remaining sessions. So with the absence of any further question, I think we'll end here and continue appropriate time.
All right. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
We are very
You're
grateful
welcome.
for your
So
lecture.
I'll be looking forward for your your final the sign.
Madam.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Oh,